So that was Gary going a little guided fantasy, as it turned out. It wasn't, we didn't plan what was going to happen. We basically started off by where we were. The induction, who knows what style it was. It was made up as we went along. I've never done that sort of induction before. I've done it now. Another one to add to the hop. But it was an interesting induction. I found it interesting. Obviously, there was fractionation techniques as popularised by Voigt, although it was used many times before that. What else did we do?
You got me to take a book off a shelf, which you've done with me before.
Right, but this was in a different setting. This was a bookshop which you found by yourself.
Yeah. It wasn't your idea that I go and go somewhere where there are books.
Yeah, I'd find a comfortable place where you felt safe. And
you've done a thing before with me with a library, but I went there on my own, and you utilised that, I think. Right. What was your intention when you started that?
Just to start and see where it went. There's no plan apart from we were going to do some video and see what came out.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a brief for working on a particular issue, but I gave your unconscious mind permission to bring to the surface whatever it was appropriate to work on in whatever way. And one of the things that came out was that the conscious mind couldn't really do the job. It was only getting in the way. So we metaphorically sent the conscious mind off on a holiday to a very nice place, which I'm sure it's having interesting fun there. It'll come back when it's ready. It can come back now. And then went on. Well, I mean, a lot of the times what we did was basically fractionation. And in the traditional Voigt way, not just the sort of, out, in, out, in, out, in. That's modern fractionation. But Voigt used to do it where he would say, okay, how did that feel? He'd take you down into hypnosis and say, okay, how did that feel? Describe what you experienced. You'd describe it, and then he would say, okay, now we'll go back down again, and he would describe to you the same symptoms.
Right.
Yeah. And as he described those same pattern of feelings that you experience in your own unique experience of trance, on that occasion, on another occasion you might experience different feelings. So he'd feed back to you those sensations, and that would then match your experience. So it's a matching process. He'd match the experience by reflecting back to you what you just told him, and you would go deeper. And we did that in several ways, including matching where we'd been at some point, retracing the footsteps of the journey, and as you do that again, going deeper by re-engaging with the thing a second time. So I'd probably need to watch it to work out what we were doing.
Well, I think as any experienced hypnotist knows, that whatever anybody talks about, you can't help but take it inside and make your own images, and possibly your own sounds and feelings. But if it's imagery, mostly images, and most people, I guess, that's just my hallucination. So when I'm doing metaphor work with people, I can't help but create my version of their metaphors. Right. And I guess if you're doing that, how do you deal with it?
Well, it's sort of dual therapy.
Right.
We all project onto situations, and we all introject things from situations. So when I'm doing a guided fantasy, obviously I can't see exactly what you're seeing.
No.
And the less that you as a subject describe it, then the less I can see it. I've got enough of a picture to work with, more than enough to work with. But the more you describe it, literally as if you were, talking to a blind audience, saying, this is what this place looks like.
Yeah.
Fill in the details. This is the left page. This is page number 32. That's the right page. It's page 33.
It was 26.
It was 26. Okay, thank you for that. I didn't ask. I could have asked. And it may have been relevant. So you say the left-hand page was 26.
I'm just joking, but...
All right, okay. But we could have asked because that may have been significant. The numbers that come up, any number that comes up in an image spontaneously, it doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from somewhere. And you know what Jackson Pollock would say about this?
What?
forget. Well, you know,
But it's abstract expressionism.
people talk about Jackson Pollock and they say, well, he'd just get a bit of paint and he'd splash it on at random. No, it's not art, he'd splash it on at random. Well, what Jackson Pollock said to me one day was, he said, there's not one single drop of paint on that canvas which was accidental. Every movement, every flick of the paintbrush came directly from my unconscious and was motivated by my unconscious motives. I knew exactly what I was thinking when I painted that picture.